This is live from New Delhi. You're watching special broadcast on DD India International Cooperative Alliance. Cooperatives build prosperity for all, and I'm Sakal Bhatt. Viewers, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi will be launching UN International Year of Cooperatives 2025 at an International Cooperative Alliance and Global Cooperative Conference on 25th. This is pitched as a mega event because it's going to be launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 25th of November. But just to remind you that in a big first in 130 years long history of International Cooperative Alliance, the premier body for the global cooperative movement, with the initiative of iffco, the ICA General Assembly and the Global Cooperative Conference will be hosted by India. We are very pleased to be joined by a distinguished panel of the ministry concerned and iffco to discuss this key event and also how it will position India at the forefront of the global cooperative movement, with India becoming one of the fastest growing global cooperative sectors. So let us begin. And to begin with, let's just give the viewers of DD India some insight into the mega event, which I just mentioned is marked by many firsts. Prime Minister Modi will be launching the UN International Year of Cooperatives 2025 at an International Cooperative Alliance Global Cooperative Conference in National Capital on Monday. And with the overarching theme that is Cooperatives Build Prosperity for All, in line with the Government of India's slogan of Sehkar Se Samriddhi, the mega event with the robust international presence will be spread across 5 days with 4 sub-themes. Now, these include enabling policy and entrepreneurial ecosystems, nurturing purposeful leadership to create prosperity for all, reaffirming the cooperative identity, and also shaping the future towards realizing prosperity for all in 21st century. The prestigious event will be graced by Prime Minister of Bhutan, His Excellency Dasho Tshering Togbe, and Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji, His Excellency Manoa Kimikamika, besides other global representatives. And with the formation of the separate Ministry of Cooperation, which is helmed by Union Minister Amitshah as first ever Union Cooperation Minister, Indian cooperative sector has definitely achieved new milestones. This including the greater contribution in national GDP by launching at least 54 initiatives for the growth and development of the cooperative movement. It also includes formation of 3 new cooperatives in the sectors. Earlier, cooperatives, remember, did not have a national presence. All these steps have actually put India at the forefront of the global cooperative movement, with India becoming one of the fastest growing cooperative sectors. Now, remember, I told you it's a 5-day event. It will also mark the bestowal of Rochdale Pioneers Award 2025, and these awards are awarded to individuals or organizations for their valuable contribution for the development of cooperatives and strengthening the international movement. Let me turn to our special panel. Joining us on this special broadcast, I welcome Kapil Meena. He is Director from the Ministry of Cooperation, and such a pleasure to welcome Dr. U.S. Avasthi, Managing Director, iffco. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Mr. Meena, I would like to start with you. Take us through the significance of this event, because I believe there are many firsts attached to it, which puts India in the spotlight when it comes to global cooperative movement.
Yeah, so as you were mentioning earlier, this is the first time in 130 years of history of International Cooperative Alliance that this event is happening in India for the first time. Another thing is, it is also the launch of International Year of Cooperatives. So United Nations for the second time, earlier it was done in the year 2012 also, it was also International Year of Cooperatives, but again United Nations has declared the next year as International Year of Cooperatives. So this is kind of a huge acknowledgement of how important cooperatives are all over the world, and also the announcement of the United Nations Year of Cooperatives is happening in Delhi. So
that's big.
Yeah, that's big. So that attaches the importance that India is the place where cooperatives have always been in the forefront, and we have a very ancient history of cooperatives in our country. Cooperatives have found mentioned in our Vedas, they have found mention in a lot of scriptures, as well as before independence. If you see, there has been a lot of contribution by the freedom fighters who were associated with the cooperative societies. So in that way, cooperatives have been there in informal form for hundreds of years in our country. And if you see the formal format of cooperatives, we attach the formal cooperative societies from the year of 1904. So in the year 1904, the first cooperative society which was properly registered under an act, that came up in India. So that is a formal setup of India starting around 120, 125 years back.
Ago,
Yeah. But informally they have existed for many more years.
Right. Dr. Awasthi, iffco has always kept the interest of the Indian farmers at its core, at its heart. And I believe there's going to be a lot of showcasing of Indian cooperative products on display. Tell us about it.
See, first of all, I see this as a means of India becoming global into cooperative movement.
Yes.
India has been always members of ICA, but its role has expanded manifold, especially after formation of the Ministry of Cooperation.
Yes, in
So
21.
I see, I see that with that we have got more leverage in the sense of having transparency into system by having the election commission, and then we saw this, that all this has brought in the mind of outside people, especially International Cooperative Alliance, that now cooperatives in India are governed more as a entity which have also their ethics model.
Okay.
And considering that aspect of it, in iffco, in collaboration with ICA and Ministry of Cooperation, is hosting this conference, and where I think more than 1,000 foreign delegates are going to be there. There are going to be more than 100 sessions, which are parallel sessions too, being attended by all these delegates, and especially where inauguration happens at 3 o'clock on 25th, that is Monday, by Honorable Prime Minister, in the presence of Honorable Deputy Minister, Prime Minister of Fiji, Honorable Prime Minister of Bhutan, UN representative who is going to request our Honorable Prime Minister to launch International Year of Cooperative. I think it's a huge, huge thing for India and especially for iffco, that being declared as largest cooperative worldwide, among the large 300 societies in agriculture sector.
Yeah. Dr. Awasthi, Indian cooperative products will also be showcased, and I believe I was reading some of your pre-releases. They're going to be set up of hearts and all. So you have robust international presence, but you also have our own farmers and the products of our own, Make in India cooperative outlets, rubbing shoulders with the best of the global cooperatives. That's, I think, fantastic.
Surely, in this event, we have also invited members from primary agricultural societies, from federations of state ministers are coming. If those who are very senior cooperators from the cooperative movement all over the country, they are coming to participate. So it's an event which is having the last person in cooperative also and the highest person in cooperative also to be there.
Yes. Last person and highest person, Mr. Meena, take us to the significance of the UN declaring, you mentioned earlier, the Cooperative Year 2025, and how India has integrated this. How are we going to celebrate or mark this occasion?
Yeah, so International Year of Cooperatives next year is again a very fantastic occasion for the ministry also. As you know, ministry was formed only 3 years back, but the ministry has taken very fast steps for strengthening and overall prosperity of the cooperative sector. More than 54 initiatives, as you are mentioning, have been taken by the ministry, and we are continuously increasing those steps into various sectors of cooperatives. So what we have planned is, already the ministry is in plans to properly formalize a plan of celebration for the next year, and all around the year we are planning to have lot of events, lot of conferences, discussions, and lot of reaching out to the people. It is also an occasion to have a outreach to the common man of the country, so that people know what ministry is doing and what is beneficial for them, because cooperative sector in our country is a huge sector. There are more than 8 lakh cooperative societies in our country, which is 1/4 of the total world's number, and the total number of members, we are highest in the world, as well as if you will see the number of members, the number of members of these 8 lakh cooperative society, it sums up to 29 crores, which is more than 1/5 of our population. So you can say this fact not many people know. So you can say that almost every family has one cooperative member in our country, which is a huge thing. So it is even bigger than the agricultural sector also. So it is also to reach out to these 29 crore members during this year, so that international year gives benefit to everyone and everyone knows what is the strength of cooperatives in our country.
Significant milestones, sir, if you could elaborate on that, and major initiatives by the cooperative sector, including the way it has contributed to the nation building, economically speaking, to our GDP. Now, not many would know about it, I believe.
I would like to
Like a
talk
success story.
especially about IFCO's contribution towards a clean, green, and environmental friendly agriculture.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We have invented nano urea and nano DAP, and about to get into the market by the FCO approval of nano NPK granular, which will replace all chemical fertilizers. So there will be no chemical in soil.
Fantastic. Okay.
But in India alone, it's not only India alone, we have started doing commercial business with America,
Okay.
with Brazil, with Suriname, with Sri Lanka, with Bangladesh, with Nepal, and with Malaysia, with Philippines, and about 25 countries have already taken the steps to regularize and provide their approval according to their system. So it's something which is happening all over the world, this our invention. So in a way, at one time when India was importing technology, now India, and especially cooperatives from India, is exporting the technology, and exporting the product. So you can imagine how it has changed the whole perception about cooperatives,
Yes, yes,
not only India but worldwide.
Yes.
And this is something which we are saying as a farmers organization. We are not only stopping on these research, we have a huge research facility where we are going to bring biopesticides, we are going to bring all the chemicals which are going to cause any kind of harm to the agri producer, including any kind of crop. We should eliminate that and create the better healthy atmosphere into the food grain as well as in the vegetables.
Right.
So this is sign of thing. But beside this, I think most important aspect is that in this conference, every day there are 3 or 4 separate business meetings happening simultaneously. And this is not happening only with
There
us.
is a
They are
business
happening with
variable
amul.
also on the agenda.
They are happening with kribhco. They are happening with nafed. They are happening a newly formed cooperative society of National Export Cooperative Limited, which is also doing lot of export in many countries, and especially in African countries like Guinea-Conakry, like Ghana, like Kenya. We already registered and we started also doing business with them.
Great, great.
So,
So with this, I can safely say, Mr. Meena, there's a major shift driven by the vision of Prime Minister Modi and Union Minister of your ministry, of course, Amit Shah ji. Despite having no national presence some 5 years ago, there's a lot of, the growth trajectory has been phenomenal. You have a long way to go. But can you just share some insights?
Yes, so earlier Ministry of Cooperation was not there. It was a very small division within the Ministry of Agriculture, and that used to only have a regulatory part. So it was only about regulation of cooperative societies, that too about multi-state cooperative societies which are there in the country. So from that directly it was a transformation which was into a ministry, and after that the things have changed very fast. And what we have done is, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Home and Corporation Minister, the ministry has focused on the foundation of cooperative system. So if you will see the initiatives of the ministry, out of those 54 initiatives, more than 20 initiatives are for totally transforming the basic unit of cooperatives, which is primary agriculture cooperative societies, PACs we call it. So these packs, if you will see, they are 1 lakh in number in the country, and there are 13 crore farmers who are members of these packs. So we are directly catering to 13 crore people out of the 29 crore members which we are saying, and that is the farmers group. And one by one, in sequential manner, the ministry is addressing all the issues which are faced by these primary societies. So the Honorable Minister also believes if the foundation is strong, then the whole thing becomes strong. So we are focusing on the foundation, and it is also very important to note that these primary societies all come under state acts. They are regulated by the state governments. But it is very heartening to know that all the initiatives which are taken for the primary societies by the ministry were all in discussion with the states, and states have very happily adopted all those reforms. So it is a very good example also of center and state collaboration in this manner. So that way, Ministry of Cooperation is trying to focus on all-round development of the cooperative sector, but most importantly on the primary societies, which are the foundation.
Yeah, Dr. Awasthi, how does that put India at the forefront of the global cooperative movement? Now, there's going to be spotlight on us from tomorrow, rest of the 5 days, and thereafter also. But this event is a milestone event.
Yes, this event is milestone, and for the starting of our international cooperative year, on 26 January in Doha, they are going to start a dialogue process where all the CEOs are joining virtually of the cooperative sector worldwide, and they are going to start a dialogue process that what they are going to do in next 1 year.
Okay.
They'll define, like nurturing cooperative, nurturing new leadership, cooperative as environmentally ecosystem of business, cooperative as transparent model of reaching to the last mile of the people, providing them employment opportunities, providing them self-employment opportunities, by helping the entrepreneur ecosystem which is coming like a startup, which we call a startup, but in cooperative we call ecosystem of cooperative, which should be able to help the small cooperative, then get all these small cooperative together and march together with the small people, which Honorable Prime Minister also said, when he said Sahkar se Samriddhi, he said at the same time, all these small cooperatives can together form a large part of nation building.
And that is happening, numbers
Yeah, that is happening.
to GDP.
And this is what we are now worldwide, we are trying to take this message across. In Africa, like for example, there is a very large, not having proper cooperatives. So a lot of people are collaborating with us, signing MOUs with us, that how do we replicate the same model of cooperative.
Interesting. Yeah. So having said, Mr. Meena, what are the kind of expectations that are building up from India, especially from tomorrow onwards? Like Sir mentioned, you're going to have, I mean, more than 50, nearly 100 sessions, parallel sessions, India being the host. And you have a relatively new ministry which has done so much in a very shortest span of time. So kind of expectations that the mother organization has.
So Ministry of Cooperation, what it is doing is it is providing an enabling ecosystem, enabling environment to the cooperative society so that they flourish in the best possible manner. It is not about regulation, it is not about laws and everything. Cooperative societies are all independent societies. So Ministry is providing the enabling environment. Now what we have also done is one very important initiative has been to form 3 new national level cooperative societies. Now this, when these societies are successful, it is going to transform the whole agriculture sector. There is a new national level cooperative society for exports, which is going to ensure that what farmer produces in the field goes to the exports in the best quality, and the farmers get the best returns out of those exports, which is not the case. There are middlemen, there are companies involved in this. So that is the idea. Another society is for national level society for organic production. So that is going to focus on how farmers can increase the organic production in the country and again find the best markets for them. The third society is a national level society for seed production. So we want to also see that quality seed is produced, and for that also the farmers which are able to produce quality seed, they are able to get best prices for those seeds, because these seeds are also sold. Now you know there are multinational companies which are doing this seed business and everything. So these initiatives are very huge, and as you are saying, out of this conference, lot of best practice exchange will happen in this conference. India will also learn from the other countries. There must be some other countries which are doing some good work in certain sector of cooperatives. So we also want to learn from the other countries. And there are success stories like Amul, like iffco, and there are n number of other success stories. It is not only Amul and iffco, there are many other success stories. So we also want to share our best practices with them. And as MD iffco was saying, continents like Africa and all, they are very interested in growing their cooperatives, which is almost nil in their countries and their continent. So it is about spreading the message of prosperity for all across the world. So it is exchange
In
of
tandem with
ideas
the
between
theme,
all countries.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Awasthi, so this is definitely going to, the event will definitely revitalize India's cooperative movement. I mean, how do you see this as a game change?
You see, today I was talking to Director General of ICA, Mr. Joanne Douglas, and I talked to the ICA President on telephone, Mr. gwalior. They were saying that we expect a lot from India to guide in coming year of cooperative, international year of cooperative, because the kind of cooperative which is being run in India is a very, very basic, correct system of cooperative.
Okay.
Because what is happening, like you say rubber bank, it's called a self-cooperative bank, but it runs like a corporate. Or French, credit agricole.
So do you have representatives from rural India, from Panchayati, three-tier system, all of them are also going to be part of this?
They are going to be
Yeah.
primary level society.
Excellent.
There are going to be state
Yeah.
government officials also who are attending.
Yes, I've already,
From grassroots to global?
yes,
Yes.
that's I've
Yes,
already.
go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I said, they realize that when they come here and see our cooperative, and when we go and talk to them about our cooperative system, that's something which will really, really make them very interested. That this is the kind of cooperative which should be run. And this is the kind of cooperative in which Rochdale started first time in 1866 in Rochdale, England. But then over the years they got diluted and we became strengthened in the cooperative movement, in the cooperative sector. So it's kind of, now this kind of technology, kind of thinking process which is now going from here to the world. I see that way.
Yeah.
I don't see many things coming. Of course, from there, for example, we have been always dreaming to have a big bank like Reserve Bank of India for cooperatives. Reserve Bank of India runs on corporate model for the cooperative. But the day we'll have a bank for iffco, for cooperatives. That's the one which also
Is this your wish list?
it will have a global system, aligned to global system of cooperatives for banking. Otherwise, in all other sectors, we are at the top. It is dairy, it is fertilizers,
Right, sir.
it is
So,
fisheries.
I'm very sorry, I'm running short of time. Like just 40 seconds to each one of you. Would start with Dr. Awasthi. So what is going to be your message to the stakeholders of the cooperative movement, if I'm allowed to use that word, and a quick insight, what is going to come in the next 5 years?
Yeah, my message would be very clear. It is the message that cooperative leaders and professional leadership together globally should bring a cooperative system which should be cohesive and should take care of all those which needs it to be supported, to people to be supported, either form like forming of say cotton mill. It has in our country. That's why wherever we see there is a decline, and that's why Government of India has started a cooperative reconstruction and rehabilitation fund. So that kind of fund will give support to these things.
Right,
So
sir.
sure.
Meenaji, your last word. Message for the stakeholders.
The message for the stakeholders would be that even when government is doing all its efforts to develop the cooperative sector and providing all facilities to the cooperatives also have a responsibility to improve the transparency, accountability into their own systems, as well as with the new technologies emerging up so fast all over the world. We the cooperatives need to be modern, need to adopt all the latest technologies, and we need to cope up with how companies are working, because it is a competitive world. So we have to fight it out and make our place, and we need to become a business entity, not as a social welfare organization only, but cooperatives need to build up a business model for themselves.
All right. On that positive note, thank you very much, Mr. Kapil Meena, Director, Ministry of Cooperatives, and also Dr. U.S. Awasthi, Managing Director, iffco, both of you. Thank you for joining us. Clearly, the 5-day event is all set to not only bring India at the forefront of the global cooperative ecosystem, but also, in a way, revitalize India's own cooperative movement and taking that from strength to strength, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, in tandem with the theme Cooperatives Build Prosperity for All. Well, that's it in this edition of the special broadcast on DD India. News and updates continue on your channel DD India. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us.